Nicola Sturgeon's push for independence could result in England incorporating Wales unless it pursues its own union breakaway, a leading separatist told Express. A successful Scottish independence ballot would leave a shaky UK, with England ready to incorporate Wales rather than fund two separate nations, Express.co.uk was told. It comes as calls for Welsh independence grow, with the launch of the Labour for Indie Wales group marking the first openly pro-independence group in Welsh Labour. Popularity for a UK breakaway has gained traction during the pandemic in Wales, similar to that seen in Scotland under First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. According to a poll carried out by ITV Wales in January, around 33% of people would vote to leave the Union if a referendum were held tomorrow. This was up 8 percentage points on a similar poll in June 2020, which was itself a record. And while support for an Indie Wales is growing, figures like Sion Jobbins, chair of the independence campaign group Yes Cymru, believe Wales' fate is a race against the clock as Scotland looks almost certain to gain independence in the near future. He said the idea that Wales would have any sovereignty when Scotland votes for independence is for the birds, Mr. Jobbins told Express. It looks like Sturgeon will win the Scottish Parliament with a majority in May, and so there will be a referendum in Scotland. It would be difficult for the SNP not to hold one. The question for people in Wales, then, is that we have a choice, independence or incorporation into England. We've already heard noises from the Conservatives about getting rid of the Assembly, and we've seen the Tories use the Internal Market Bill specifically to take powers away from the Senedd and to override Senedd decisions. So the writing's on the wall. If Scotland votes for independence, which I think it will, the idea that there would be a Welsh Parliament within the so-called UK of England and Wales is for the birds. You've got to be criminally naive to think that that would last for another 5 years of Tory rule. Mr. Jobbins added that he believed this was all the more prevalent as, sooner rather than later, Ireland will also unite, so where will it leave Wales? The idea that Wales would be at the mercy of Westminster if Scotland leaves the UK is not a new one. Former First Minister Carwyn Jones said in 2019 that Wales could become independent by default according to what the other two nations, Scotland and Northern Ireland, do. His words echoed the concerns of Mr. Jobbins, as he told DW News, if Scotland goes and Northern Ireland decides to join a united Ireland, England and Wales alone would not work and maybe the English would leave us. Wales' ties to England go back hundreds of years. In the late 13th century, King Edward I conquered the Western Principality of Wales, claiming it as a territory of England. He next took aim at Scotland, inviting the First War of Scottish Independence, of which Scotland emerged with its sovereignty undamaged. The title Prince of Wales emerged during this period, as English monarchs gave it to their successors in order to signify their control over the territory. Wales was not, however, an official part of the Kingdom of England until the 1530s and 40s when, under King Henry VIII, England passed the Acts of Union, extending English laws and norms to Wales.